police academies. I've helped a lot of police academies. They don't fail people anymore. I show them what I do. I train them to do what I do. They have great success with it. I would say this in a police academy. Let's say it's 6 months long, whatever they do. I don't know. Probably about 4 months of that is fucking paperwork. And then, you know, you get a little hand-to-hand, you get a little gun, you get a little shooting. And then you learn what? Yeah. But I'm going to tell you this, as a cop, you got the rest of your life to do that paperwork. And when you're in training, right, as soon as you, like, get your first arrest, your training officer is going to be like, don't write it that way. Hold on, let me see your paperwork. Like this. The paperwork could be OJT, and they can spend time, right, training these guys. And if, no, I also say this is, if police were trained better, and truly uniformed officers are probably the only guys, like, stopping crime as it happens. If we train those guys better, why would we need SWAT teams? Right, you'd have SWAT teams through the whole thing. Everyone could be SWAT. And if we got 10 of us come together, yeah, we're our own SWAT team. Yeah. We don't, and then we can operate independently. We can operate one or two. And please don't do the force multiplier thing. Like, each guy is his own fucking bastion of the law. You know what I mean? Like, I just think they kind of share injuries. They don't do hand-to-hand, right? Shooting could be dangerous, right? And then most shooting is, you know, the instructor is God, and you are fucking stupid. That's how most training is. It's like basic training. You're like, no, it's not like that. Right, you know what I mean? Right.
Yeah, I'm always shocked when I see fat cops. Like, really fat cops. And I was like, how your whole life is your body. Like, your whole life is, you have to be able to physically defend yourself. You have weapons. You have, you know, the law and the uniform and bulletproof vest and all, but your physical body is almost useless.
Yeah.
I was at a football game the other day, and there's this, like, obese cop, like, enormous belly. I'm like, this is disgusting. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You've let yourself get to this point where I know you can't run.
Yeah.
You can't last 30 seconds. All someone has to do is grab a hold of your arm that you would use to take your gun and control that arm, get you to the ground. You're fucked.
Shit, I just baseball collar the back of their fucking collar, their shirt. Where the fuck are you going? You know what I mean? That's crazy. Yeah. Okay, first off, I think also police should have different jobs like the Army. So, okay, if you were 400 pounds, maybe you're the computer guy at the police force, or a desk guy, or, you know what I mean? Right. I don't think everyone needs to be the fittest human being ever. However, if you're on patrol, get the young 6-foot kids in there, man. You know what I mean? They can handle themselves. They're young. They're bigger than normal, right? This is why a lot of troopers, state troopers, used to have like a 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2" height requirement, right? Because a 6'2" man can generally handle most people,
right?
You know what I mean?
Especially a fit one.
Yeah. So I think the fit guys need to be on the force. I think there's room for everybody, but I think with police is you're a police officer or you're a detective, and then that's it. But really, you're always a cop versus like, well, the Army, right? Okay, there's drone pilots. There's all these Army jobs that kick the infantry kids out the door. Right. Why don't police kind of organize like that? And that way, like, the guys that are going to run people down can run.
That's what drives me crazy about this whole defund the police war shit. Like, you're fucking crazy. You should be funding them more.
Fucking crime is real.
Yeah, it's real. Evil's real.
Evil's fucking real. Yeah.
Yeah, to pretend it's not, well, that just means you haven't experienced it.
Yeah, you're living the life or not.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just bizarre that we expect these people to encounter danger and evil all day long, their whole lives, like 25, 30 years. And, you don't train them properly. You don't fund them properly, and then they get disrespected by the public.
Oh, that's the worst. I think the worst is when, like, the mayor or the police fucking chief is, like, not supportive of all of the fucking guys, and it's like, you think you guys have bad I get it. There might be bad apples or whatever. Everyone's got 10%. Say what you want, but, like,
How about Kamala Harris when she was running for president? She was all about about defund the police.
I don't know how that sells with
It's like
anybody.
2019, 2020. It's fucking crazy. It's a crazy thing to say. It really is a crazy thing to say.
Yeah. I mean, if we defunded the police, we'd beat Mexico quicker than we thought.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Because the cartels would just travel over the border.
Yeah. That's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about this idea of using special forces guys to fight the cartels?
First and foremost, like if you were like, yo, we're gonna wipe out a cartel tonight, I'd have been like, unload my frags, extra careful, like, let's go, right? But the reality is like, I know all my buddies are like, yeah, we'll fuck them up in a night, we'll fucking, fucking let's back up a fucking second here. The cartels have fucking men. They own the ground. They have fucking technicals. They have machine guns. They have fucking everything an army has. Right? And they've had decades to train waiting for this. Number two. And number three, our government's fucking compromised. So if you think they ain't gonna know you're coming, you know what I mean? I think you're fucking high. Jesus Christ, that's a terrible. So compromised. The cartel's gonna get the word out before. Well, how are we gonna? We're not good at being fucking sneaky. We're not the Israelis doing that fucking pager shit. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that needs to be the model for every fucking thing we do in the future. No matter what you think about the Israelis, what's going on in Gaza, the pager shit would. Yeah. Why? Which tells me America should go back to making its own fucking cell phones and its own. We shouldn't have our fucking comms made overseas at all in any way, shape, or form. In my opinion. No, I've been saying that forever. We should have our own cell phones. Fuck. And the fact that we're buying so much shit from China. Fuck. Especially after they banned Huawei because they know that Huawei stuff was compromised and they're having third-party input to be able to spy on people. Yeah. It's fucking crazy. Well, this is why we gotta go back to making America like it used to be. We made our own shit. We use our own shit. We wouldn't have to worry about none of this. Yeah, it's a very strange thing what's happening in this country where China's allowed to buy land that's near military bases. They supply cell phone towers. They put all this different, they sell us all this different shit, and we don't really know. I mean, I don't know how many experts are investigating these fucking cell phone towers. Fucking zero. Yeah, fucking that. Mike Baker was on here and he was telling me about how around military bases, like China has installed their equipment in all these military bases. Like at Formula One, where we were, my buddy owns the track, and they found these Chinese boxes they've attached to the Wi-Fi. So they were just scooping up everybody's data. They called in Homeland Security to have them remove it and investigate it. Fucking racetrack. A racetrack, but they knew everybody was going to be using this public Wi-Fi. Probably no VPNs, probably no security, and these people are getting all their shit siphoned up. Fuck. They're so sophisticated in how they've infiltrated. It's fucking crazy. And we just allow it to happen. It's very strange because you can't buy shit in China. If you think you're an American company, you're going to go over to China and operate with autonomy, you're out of your fucking mind. Yeah. You can't buy shit. They'll never let an American. Never. No, they don't want. Hey, Chinese would never buy communication devices from America. No, they certainly never let America buy farmland right next to their military bases. They're like, fuck you. We're like, sure, we'll sell it to you, but you're gonna pay more. Yeah, like, we'll take your money. It's weird. It's weird how goofy we are. I know. And then, like, well, I think it's this, Joe. I think people don't realize how fucking dangerous the rest of the world is and how, like, people are, like, plotting against us. And it's fucking real out there. The world is a crazy place. I say this, like, you don't know how fucking safe you got it here and how fucking great we got it here. You know what I mean? Like, people don't know that because they don't never leave here, so they're stuck in their own fucking bad attitude of, like, their own grind or whatever the fuck they do. And like, look, I'm telling you, the world is fucking evil. People will fucking rape you, kill you. No one gives a fuck. Like, protect yourself all the time. Well, you've been the parts of the world where you've seen this firsthand. And I think it's one of those things where if you don't see it, you don't believe it. Yeah. I'll tell you I think the biggest thing I saw in Iraq, I think in maybe 2009-ish, there was like the most fucking U.S. soldiers ever been in Iraq, right? Like, whatever the numbers are, I don't fucking know, right? But when Iraq had the most fucking soldiers it has ever had in Iraq is when Iraq was the safest. Think about it. You know what I mean? All we had to do was put a fucking tank under every fucking overpass. In every fucking neighborhood, there's a machine gun, a fucking 50 cal Humvee, right? Like, who's fucking around? They're everywhere. And that's the safest Iraq ever was. I'm telling you, we have that here, and people don't understand that in general. So if you want to defund the police, fuck, man, we're fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a crazy one.
You know, do you know Evan Hayford?
Yes.
Yeah, Evan was, we were in Elk camp, and he was explaining some of the shit that he saw when he went from Iraq to Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And just how, he's like, Afghanistan is so fucked that you can't even comprehend it until you're there.
Yeah.
He goes, once you're there and you see it and you understand it, you become so cynical. You almost like, this culture's like unfixable. And he's like, most people just don't know that a place like that exists. That's so just down to its core. So fucked. When he was talking about how these guys have these boys that they have as their harem.
The number 9 boy.
What's that?
So the Egyptian Special Forces call him the number 9 boy. He's the boy that gets fucked.
Why number 9?
I don't know. That's what the Egyptian Special Forces call. But every Afghanistan village had a fucking, what do they call it? The Chogi boy.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Basically the 12-year-old that gets raped.
They were saying these guys have harems and they would parade them down the street and show they have the most boys.
Yeah, this happened to me on my. So I did a solo mission in Afghanistan about Kill Bin Laden. Ever hear of it?
Yeah.
I brought a hardback for you. I'll sign it for you if you want. But it's hard to get a hardback. It's got library shit in it. I had a vibe. Because like people always ask me to sign it. I didn't write the book, I'm just in it. People always ask me for a signature on it, right? So I bought, like, I don't know, family or friends, someone wanted one. I bought a lot from a library. They didn't even know more because they don't sell the hardbacks anymore. But I went out on a mission in Afghanistan. I was gone 10 days. First successful mission war. My opinion, I don't know. I don't know if there's other missions that are more successful than mine. So I went out alone, and then I do the recon. I have the footage I need. I have every fucking thing I need to launch a raid. I'm alone. We stop. I'm in a fucking jingly truck, right? Like I'm in this truck. I hitchhiked basically from Jalalabad into the Tora Bora Mountains. I'm in a jingly truck with this fucking driver.
What's a jingly truck?
You know, where they it's like a fucking, like a 6-wheel, like, dump truck. But, like, they hang the chains and bells, and they paint it, like, 17 different bright colors, and you never seen a jingle? Yeah, fucking jingly truck. Because it fucking jingles, man. Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, so I'm in one of these motherfuckers with this motherfucker, right? He's like a logger. He runs the valley. He's always in the area. But like, I don't know any of this fucking, I can't even talk to the guy on this fucking spaceship, you know what I mean? And then like, it's fucking dangerous. I had to go through checkpoints. I had to act like a retard to get through a fucking checkpoint.
What did you do?
Man, I was at a fucking checkpoint, and the dude was like, there's this fucking, the checkpoints in Afghanistan are fucking sketch. You know, they got like one piece of yarn across the road. You better fucking stop or you will be shot. They don't give a fuck about you. And like, so the car in front of us, I think the fucking, like this dude like stole bread from a little kid. You know what I mean? Little kid was eating a piece of bread. We just snatched it out of the fucking car, yelled at the people. I thought he was gonna schwack him because they didn't have anything to give him that he wanted. So I'm in this jingling truck, comes next, fucking AK in the chest, la 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 la. I don't know what he's saying, right? But I know if I speak English, I'm dead. So, not much. He's like yelling at me, right? And then finally I just figured I'm gonna do like volume level 12 and just fucking yell in his face, right? So I just get super close to his face, which he was funny. And I'm like, no. And the guy's like, what the fuck? And then like backed up and then motioned like motion like in the buck through here with the AK.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what, you just on the spot?
Yeah. Another one I picked up like a dirty towel or blanket off the floor and they took that. Right, but what I learned, one of the things I learned is, you're watching movies and like they pull out a wad of cash and they're like, wait, can you get me across the border there, friend? These motherfuckers that just shoot you in the face and take everything you got. Don't whip that shit out. You're gonna get murdered. They're just gonna take it all. I mean, they'll steal bread from a fucking kid. You think they give a fuck about your life? You know what I mean? And they just fucking throw you on the side of the road and let you rot. Like, they don't even care about the smell. Yeah, I had to act like a retard through this one. They don't give a fuck, man. They don't give a fuck.
You just figured that out on the spot.
On the spot, yeah. So, I get in the truck, we do the recon. I had a cigarette bag. I think it's like Kent or some shit. I don't fucking smoke, but like Kent cigarettes. I had a plastic bag with my fucking sat phone. Anyway, I had to get a camera out, get it under my arm, and I kind of filmed the house, right? US eyes on. And then I had to get the footage back. So we get to the end of the valley. It's fucking dark. There's no way we can get out of the valley before light. So we stop at this house, and the driver's like, motion us in, right? It's the Muslim right of they can't turn you away, right? So we go to this house. We're in the room, a bunch of old fucking grumpy men. They don't fucking like me at all. And the driver, I guess, goes there and crashes all the time when he's in the valley, right? So this is normal for him to be here. So in that room, they had like this boy, and they fucking drug him into another room, and you could hear yelling and shit. And it's just like, what the fuck do you do? I have everything I need to pull off the first successful mission in Afghanistan for the American government. Okay, do I save this kid and compromise my mission, or do I just get the fuck out of here and pull this motherfucker off? And the reality is I had to look the other way, and I didn't like it. So I took my speed, they give you speed. I took my speed, stayed up, everyone went to bed. They fed me dark opium tea. They tried to put me down. That's why I drank the tea anyway, knowing it was spiked. And then I took my speed to kind of counteract it, and then everyone went to bed. I laid there just wide awake. I laid there wide awake like I fucking shut an eye. These motherfuckers are gonna cut my dick off and stick it in my mouth because it seems like what they like to do. And then finally, in the middle of the night, I fucking got my AK. I stuck it in the driver's face. I drug him out to the truck like right before sunup, and we fucking left the valley. But like, compromise the mission or save the kid. What do you want? What's it gonna be, man? And then like you just see this all over the place.
So you were like one of the first guys to do these singleton missions.
Yeah.
So when they set you off to do something like that, like what's the protocol? Like how do they even?
Good luck. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like what do you think?
What do they say?
Well, back then it was that guy Dalton Fury, right? The guy who killed Bin Laden was my commander. And okay, it's a long story. I've been writing a book. It's finished. Maybe someone would want to publish it, but it's called The Singleton, and it's about my going out alone. But I was like, I was at my base. I was in Assadabad, and we were just getting rocketed and mortared every day. It's kind of like mortar bait, whatever. And then we had like fucking zero lickies and cheese, no fucking candy, no beef jerky, no fucking Pop-Tarts, no fucking nothing, right? And we're just sucking it up and like, I gotta eat fucking these Afghan motherfuckers cook us food, and like, I'm eating vegetables. I don't even know what the fuck that vegetable was. I don't even recognize it as a vegetable. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know that's fucking goat because it tastes horrible, but I don't even know what the fuck they cook me. You know what I mean? It's like, anyway. So I go to my boss and I'm like, yo, hey, I want to fucking go to the main base, right, and steal meat from the fucking chow hall. What's poke? Poke meat is a term for like beef jerky, snacks, candy, cookies, like any kind of like snack food, right? So, and my boss is like, yeah, if you schedule the airplanes, you make all the coordinations, you can go. I was like, fucking bet, man. I fucking scheduled the helicopter. Like, motherfuckers, you don't know how resourceful I can be. You know what I mean? So I scheduled everything for the next night. And then, like, I drove, I had a red Toyota Toyota truck. I drove my Toyota truck in the back of the Chinook, right? So tight in there, you can't even get out. You got to sit there, hope you get a piss. They fly me to the main base, fucking land, drive in the main base. Like by this time, like the army's like taking over, where like you gotta like fucking army base in Afghanistan like 2 weeks ago. Like a fucking SAS guy lost a leg in a landmine, you know? But so I go to the base, and then the commander sees me, and he's with his sergeant major, another guy, and they're like, "This is our fucking guy right here." So like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "About to raid the Chow Hall." You know? Like, what the fuck does it look like I'm doing? You know what I mean? Like, if it's one thing, I'm honest, right? So I was like, you know, I'm getting pokey for our base. Like, what's up? And they're like, "Hey, we got a mission for you." And I told them, "Hey, I'll do it, right? But you just gotta ask my boss if it's all right, because I didn't work for these guys." And they're like, "Okay, cool. They're in my squadron, but like not my direct boss, right?" So they call my boss. My boss says fine, and like they sit me in this room, and they're like, "Hey, we want you to go out alone." And I'm like, "Okay." And then they explain everything to me. "We want you to go out alone. Like, do you have any questions?" And I was like, my only question was, and it wasn't a question. I looked the commander in the eye and I said, "Tell me you're gonna cover my ass if something goes wrong." And he was like, "Oh yeah, we'll cover you." I'm like, yo, you could have gave a fucking better man up with that answer. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? He gives this like weak answer, and I'm just thinking, well, fuck, man. You know what I mean? Now, so what were they telling you they want you to do? Go out alone, U.S. eyes on, get footage of this guy in his house so we could launch, right? Because the generals back then were in line with Bush's Dead or Alive, and they were, I believe the Pentagon was a bigger hindrance in the beginning of the war than they were worth. How so? Well, the general at the time that was in charge of us, our task force, right, and we're talking about tier 1, like, the guy in charge then had like 2 rules. Number 1, you can leave the wire if you get U.S. eyes on a target. Okay? Okay. And number 2, no one leaves the wire. Well, how the fuck are we gonna do number 1 if we can't leave? Figure it out. So the commander,
When you say leave the wire,
yeah,
what do you mean?
it's like go out hunting for bad guys, leave your base. You know what I'm saying? Go out and
But you
combat.
can't leave your base.
But you can't leave the base. But you got to get these eyes on to launch a target. So you got to get your recon guys out there doing reconnaissance, because we need these reconnaissance and U.S. eyes on to hit these targets. Okay, we want to launch reconnaissance. Yeah, no, it needs to work. That's kind of how it works, man, right? So the reason they use me is, according to the Army at every level is great at accountability. 100% we need to know where everyone is at all times, right? So when I flew to the other base, I was in transit, right? So they left me in transit for a week. So instead of saying I left the wire, I was just in transit, because I was in transit anyway to go get Pop Tarts.
Wow.
So they lied to everybody, left me my stand. I didn't notice at the time, like this couldn't matter less to me. I learned later, you know, but they paperwork nutshell the general and sent out reconnaissance, and that was me.
Wow.
And then they came back with the eyes on, and the general agreed to launch the mission. And it was a success, and no one asked, how the fuck did someone leave the wire? Because no one cared, because we were successful, you know what I mean?
Wow. So what do you think when you're out there doing this? Like, what is going through your head when you agree to do this?
Fuck. Figure it the fuck out. I don't fucking know. I'm not trying to have anything in my head.
That's what's crazy. It's like they just let you figure it out.
Yeah.
So you have to feel very vulnerable.
I don't know. I wouldn't say vulnerable, but I do think this is like, there's guys that like fucking make it happen. You probably got guys like this. Any task you give a guy, he's just like, wait, you're done with that already? Like,
Some people can just make shit happen.
and then I'm one of those guys. It's like one of my better qualities, make it happen. So like, fucking go make it happen, motherfucker.
act like a retard when you get pulled over.
Hey, man, do what you gotta do, baby. Like fucking survival of the fittest.
So the problem is, once you do one of these, now you're the guy that can go do these things.
Yeah, and I did hundreds in Iraq and fucking loved it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
You loved it?
loved it.
You loved
It's just
it.
like, fuck that. You know, okay, think about this, Joe. And you do jujitsu and you fight, right? You want to depend on yourself, or you want to depend on yourself and people you don't know what the fuck they're made of. Who the fuck are you gonna trust?
Don't trust yourself.
Right? So it wasn't really a big stretch for me to be alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, but it's still a very unusual mindset.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And then my other mindset is like, no matter where I am, no matter what I do, everyone in a 25-yard radius is gonna fucking die just so I can make it home. And if I had to kill everyone in the whole village, goddamn right, everyone in that fucking village would be dead for me to come home. So, I just figured, yo, fucking be ready to fight at all times. I learned 100 to 1 lessons learned, leadership lessons, 100 to 1 being alone versus being a pack of 30 motherfuckers.
Right.
Like, yo, let us come ram this down your fucking throat and we'll call it Tuesday. You know what I mean? Where when I was alone, like, you gotta make better decisions. You're a fucking coyote. You're a ghost. You know, you gotta make ghost decisions. The fucking, you know, the bravado, like, we're gonna kill everybody. The fuck we are. We're not gonna fire a shot. Why? Because, like, you fire one shot as a singleton, you better be ready to kill everybody. Because gunshots is a fucking dinner bell for psychos, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, are you ready? You know what I mean? And the reality is, it's like I had to think of other shit, do other shit. I had to act like a retard, you know? And then I had to get along with people. I had to do so much shit that is out of, like, even the commando norm as a singleton, you know? I think
There's no one that can really teach you this.
fuck, I mean, no. Like,
Right?
fuck,
Like, you
I mean,
can teach a guy how to breach an airplane.
Right.
How the fuck are you gonna teach a guy to act like a retard if you get pulled over? How are you gonna teach a
Right.
guy to be a singleton and do
Right. Right. Well, we used to tell guys, I used to tell my guys all the time, and this is a unit thing, but like, I could train a monkey to shoot. I'm training you to think. I don't care about the shooting, because if you're thinking right, the shooting will be easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'll tell you, I thought about writing a leadership book, calling it The Singleton, and just kind of the lessons I learned, you know, like, so few guys have done that, you know, like, I see all these, like, you know, I don't look at the internet, I don't watch the news, I don't do any of that, I don't do social
Dog's
media.
up. I can hear my
haven't.
dog out.
I don't fucking look at it.
Hear the
I
pitter
haven't.
patter of little feet up there.